Welcome to another Clutch Burners podcast. And I'm so excited to be here tonight with the Canadian Chuck Norris. That's Rich Guido. And I'm, of course, BangShift Billy. And Rich, who's our guest tonight?
Rob Warrick. I think I first heard of him when I heard he was driving all the way to Montana in his race car. I thought, who is this guy taking advice from? But fellow stick shift guy with a really fast stick car, faster than Bill and I, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. Most of the people on the podcast actually are faster than us, so I guess that's not kind of the norm.
It's all relative, right, Rich?
Yeah, that's why we brought Aaron on last time. Hopefully he listens to this.
Well, it's so funny because I was
somebody slower than us.
Yeah, for like a, I don't know, a year or more or something. I always kept saying, "How fast you go, Rich?" Because I've been 870. Now we've both been faster than that. You've been significantly faster than that.
I don't think it'll be wrong. I don't think it'll be long before Aaron's car's faster.
Yeah. So Rob, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself. I'm super excited to talk to you. So I'm going to stop talking.
This was, I don't know what you want to know.
Okay. Let me
I'm
start
not the greatest talker.
Let me start with a question. Who is your hairstylist? Because your hair is freaking awesome.
So, my hair gets cut about twice a year because I guess I'll call it lazy.
Okay.
So right now it's towards the longer stage of here soon it will get cut off. I almost went inside and just buzzed it off today. I was trying to weld upside down and the helmet would not stay on my head and I was getting very frustrated.
So for those of you only listening, you've got to go to the YouTube channel. Take your hat off for a second. I just want to see this. Oh my God. I'm so jealous. Yeah, that's awesome.
I was thinking when you went to Montana, wasn't it shaved? Was that the annual?
Yeah, I think it was pretty short in Montana.
So
all right, enough about his hair.
Well, so when we get on the, the dating app or your wife or what, I don't even know, but do they love it bald or do they love it like that or in the middle or where's it at?
There's like a in-between stage.
Yeah.
That I think everybody likes it. And it seems like it goes past that stage really fast. Like it goes from short and then all of a sudden it's really long.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Enough about the hair. It's good.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you work, and then we could dive right into like your car and your first drag and drive event and the adventures that ensued since then.
Yeah. So I'm a machinist. I work for Richard Childress Racing with Aaron at CT Spring Company. And I'm actually the coiler who makes all the springs.
And just so people that aren't familiar with Richard Childress Racing, that is a NASCAR team, correct?
Yes.
All right. And so do you guys build full NASCAR motors or what exactly do you do there?
We strictly make valve springs over at the spring company.
Okay.
So I'm the one that takes the it's straight, the wire straight, and I make it into a spring.
Wow.
So every single spring that's come out of that building I've made.
Wow. That's impressive.
And that's in North Carolina?
That's in Lexington, North Carolina.
And when I come to Streetcar Bragging Rights, I might have to get you and Aaron to take me for a little tour.
You should absolutely come up because it's actually wild, the process. Like it's way more than you would think.
Yeah. Who do you guys supply springs to? I mean, obviously it's not Rich and I yet, but maybe soon.
No, there's a couple of springs out available to the public, but our main people are all the Chevrolets in NASCAR, I guess, besides the trucks since they're like a crate motor. But I guess our two biggest customers are Hendricks and Earnhardt Childress Racing.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay,
super cool.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in the process So yeah, I'll have to come for a tour. I have to figure out how to get there early enough so that I can come for a tour and hopefully not have to rebuild my engine by the time I get there. But you're going
Yeah.
because you're going to Streetcar Bragging Rights in April as well, aren't you?
Yep, I will be there. I'm excited for that one, actually.
And Rich,
So
where
am
are you
I,
at?
yeah.
Where are you at on your engine rebuild? Because you had pistons coming was the last I knew.
Twiddling my
Uh-oh.
thumbs. My engine builder, I think he was honing the cylinders, got to resize some rods, and then he should be ready for me to come down hopefully next Saturday and file fit the rings, make sure they're nice and loose, and assemble a short block, and then bring it home and start thrashing.
Is he resizing the small end of the rod for the new pistons and pins?
No.
Uh-oh. I thought the other side was all good.
It is, but we're putting in new rod bolts. So my understanding from the way Aaron built his engine for street need is I'm sure he resized his rods. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're new rod bolts. They're new rod bolts. So apparently it's a good idea to resize them if you're going to throw in some new rod bolts. And I told him today that like I'm going to be gentle on the thing, and he says, yeah, and I'm the Pope. And I said, well, it's Sunday, so it's close.
And we're close to Christmas.
We're close to Christmas, yeah.
Right. Nice.
So my engine's a little ways away, but the plan is to probably break it in, change the oil, hopefully drive it to Blasco's and throw on the chassis dyno. And then I was just messaging Matt. He's on his way to PRI with What No Way guy, Sean. And I think Matt and I might have to have a dyno dual day because he's building a 3rd gen twin turbo Hemi. So we'll see if the 525 Pontiac or the 3rd gen Hemi, which one is brave enough to make more horsepower than the other one.
Oh,
I
a
think he'll
dyno
be
duel.
braver than I will. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
Anyways, enough about me.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about your car setup when you went on your first drag and drive?
Well, so I think Aaron told you my first drag and drive, we didn't finish my car and we did it in Aaron's Corvette. And that is, that wasn't quite the experience because it was a luxury with the heated seats and the air conditioning compared to what I'm at now. But that actually, I signed up for Midwest Drags, hoping to make it, but it really pushed everybody that was working on the car to get it done. And we were about 95% done in time, but there was no testing and there was a couple of questions. So it was just better to take our backup. Honestly, it was better because it would have, for a first experience, it would have sucked to be on the side of the road and broken down. That was actually, I was also really wanting to do that. Aaron touched on it because I'm originally from New Jersey. And so I used to go down to ACO, and that year was when Midwest Drags went to ACO Raceway. And I think it was the second to last event they ever run there was that Midwest Drag. So I got to make a pass back where I made my first pass. So that was pretty cool. And then since then, I guess we've done about 6 others since then, and they've all been in line.
So before we go past that one, I don't know if Aaron told us who was quicker in his car, you or him. Who made the quickest pass that week?
I think in the end, I think he might have ended up doing it, which I'm kind of happy about because that sucks to have somebody else go faster than you in your own car. But on day 1 in Virginia, he was telling me how to drive his car, and I'm like, okay. And I get up there, and I thought I broke everything. I staged it, and I gave it some RPM, and then I've never actually eased the clutch out on anything. Like my car, I've always just sidestepped it, and it's worked. And I tried to ease it out, but I guess I didn't. And this thing, that independent suspension, I guess tire shook. It wheel hopped and tire shook, and I clutched it and the car shut off. And so I coasted to the side of the track, and I was like, holy crap, I just destroyed Aaron's car. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking in the mirror and nobody's coming, and I hit the key and it fires right back up, and I'm like, oh, all right. And I'm still, nobody's coming to check on me, so I put it in gear and I went, and it was fine. So I went down and I come back and I'm on the return road, and the whole time on the return road, all I hear is, if you think you're broke, do not go all the way down the track. And I'm like, my bad. But luckily it was fine, and we made the whole trip. But then I think at ACO I went the fastest pass by a good bit, and then in the end Aaron did. I think it was Cecil that we went to.
It's a good track,
but it was tough because Aaron's car was it didn't have a cage in it, so we were restricted to, I think, to an 1150. And if the car had a clutch in it that would hold up, it would have ran the 10s. And I don't know much about like letting off, so I don't know. I think we might have turned in one slip of mine. Like I tried to let off and hit the 1150, but yeah, I think in the end Aaron went faster.
Nice. So I'm anxious to hear about your car, your Camaro.
Yeah, so my car is actually my first car, and it's a 95 Camaro. It's now a 6-liter. It's a Ford 6-liter LS, twin turbos. They're PS 7875s. And I mean, we drive it, but at this point, it's a full-blown race car. We drove it to Montana without it. It had no dash. It has no interior pieces. Like, it's all gutted out.
So
how
what
heavy is it?
Yeah, that was my question too. What's it weigh?
I am extremely upset with how much this car weighs. It's a T-top car. Yeah, I know you guys were really heavy, right? But last winter, my goal was to take a couple 100 pounds out of this car, and I mini tubbed it and like hacked it up. I cut everything I could figure to cut off this car. I thought I was doing something, and I put it on the scales. I think I lost 90 pounds, which is pretty good. But the race weight as it sits, before I just did everything I started to do, was 3160.
And that with you in it?
That was with me in it, yeah. But like I know that there's so many people out there around 2,800 pounds in an F body, and I look at this car and I'm like, what are they doing? I mean, I guess the T-top's got to go if I want that, but I kind of like taking the tops off and cruising down the road. And Aaron touched on it last week. We built his car, right, the Fox body, and the whole time I'm working on this thing, I'm like, this car is made of nothing. Like there's nothing to a Fox body. And I told him, I said, it's gonna be 2,800 pounds easy. He's like, no way. That car weighs like 2,750 or something with him in it. And he texted me that. He texted me that, and my response to him like was a genuine F you. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that is why they're the that's the what's the word I'm looking for? The cheat code. Yeah, that's definitely the cheat code. Like, they're just so light and they just work so damn good. Like,
when you look at Tony and Tess, they've got a couple of those Fox bodies, and they go hog wild with titanium and everything, and they are, what are they, like 2,200, 2,300 pounds or something?
I think the gray mare is something like 2,000 pounds. Yeah, with him.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, it's just nuts. And so your methanol in your car, so no air to water or air to air?
There's no intercooler in my car. It's 93 and methanol. It's got the dual injectors. So I mean, I guess that's weight. And like something that weighs a lot, well, not a ton, but Aaron got all crazy with our fancy exhaust, and there's a lot of stainless steel tubing on the front of this car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
that's
talk
the
about
flat
the exhaust,
plane crank. I was going to say flat plane crank barra motor, isn't it?
They're 100, barra motor. They're 180 degree headers. So there's 2 collectors on each header. 2 primaries go into each of them, and then there's like 2 Y pipes that cross to each turbo. So 2 primaries from each side swap to the other turbo. and I have the firing order Aaron sent it to me, or which one swap.
And Rob, talk to me about the reason you do that.
So his goal with that was I'll probably mess this up because when I was texting when I don't listen, but
Do you want to phone a friend?
no, so it's even pulses to the turbo from the exhaust.
Yeah.
And the other thing was the backfeeding, like the dead holes. There's no. I'm gonna mess this up. He's gonna call me an idiot, but
he won't listen to this.
He'll listen to it. So the exhaust can't backfeed into a dead hole. I know the camshaft's a little more like an NA cam versus a turbo cam, or it originally was. I told him when we were going turbo, it was a nitrous motor. When we were going turbo, I told him, I said, I did the standard. I want the chop. Like I said, all these turbo motors just sound like a hovercraft. Like I wanted it to chop. And so he did all this, and it was, I think the original cam was a lot more NA, but I don't know. It works. It gets a lot of attention at the racetrack. Like
Yeah,
it gets a lot.
It sounds pretty wild for sure.
I usually keep track of how many people come up and ask what motor's in the car, and like they look at you like you're crazy when you're just like, oh, it's a 6-liter. They're like, no, it's not. I mean, it is. There was a guy in Montana who was like, he was pretty mad. Like I was like, it's a 6-liter. And he's like, no, it's not. You're lying. And I'm like, no, I have no reason to lie to you right now. And like we went back and forth of him telling me I'm lying, and I was like, dude, the hood will be off when we turn it back over. Like, come back and check it out. And he came back and he's like, no way. I'm like, yeah, why would I lie to you, man? Like it's a 6-liter.
So even with the turbos, it has a pretty distinctive sound with those 180 headers.
Yeah, especially with RPM. It, at idle about 950, it's not as noticeable, but when you get into it, it is it sounds like an import. I won't lie, it somewhat bothers me going down the highway because I got the bullhorns up front, and going down the highway like in 5th and 6th, like somewhat lugging it, I only hear the one bullhorn, and it sounds like a Honda Civic. It's like just putting.
Thanks, Aaron.
He did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Does his have 180-degree headers?
No, we made it because so I got a lot of fabrication help from a really good friend on all that stuff. There's no way I could have done that, and I did Aaron's, so it's straight up simple.
So do you feel like there is a performance advantage to that when you look at Aaron's car versus yours?
Well, so the car we compared to for a long time, feeling like it was a performance advantage, was actually CJ Roberts' car. Because for a little bit there, like we were running a whole lot less boost to get the same ET. Now I don't know, like Street and Heat, we both pushed our stuff pretty hard, and I don't know I could say for sure. I'd love, if I ever had the time or money, I'd love to back it on the dyno and see what it did. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like to see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And I'd love to hear people's comments on if they have personal experience with the 180 header in comparison on the same setup with a standard 4-into-1 setup. But I mean, I'd be curious to know with twins, right? Not a single turbo.
When we were in Montana, there was a GTO there, and I forget what company it was. I think it was one of the cam companies.
Oh, it's Louis Floquet from Crower.
Yeah, and so me and Aaron were in the pits turning my car around, and we were like, "Whoa, what is that?" Like,
hold on,
it sounds exactly the same. And
Lewis
is done with the cam.
Crank, he's got a legit flat plane crank in that thing. Yeah.
But it sounds the same. Like we had to go up there and watch it. We never run into him to talk to him about it, but it sounds exactly like mine.
Yeah, Lewis is a great guy.
That's interesting.
Are you going to PRI, Rob?
No, I wish. I'm a little bitter about that.
Oh, okay.
This is the first year a couple people from work are actually going, but it's more of the people that can sell some stuff and not the guy that just makes stuff.
Okay. Well, just tell them you make the rain.
I told them that they're leaving the absolute best salesman home. Like I would sell a ton of springs.
Well,
Maybe you should
if
ask
you,
them, got a haircut first and then ask them.
yeah,
It probably is. It might be my appearance because I go until I let my beard grow until it bothers me, and then I shave it off, and my hair is all raggedy.
nice. Do you wear overalls to work?
No, I do
Oh,
not.
okay.
So you have you've got a Defiant clutch in your car?
No, mine's a single disc, 11-inch stamp steel. It's Kale's. It's a Black Magic.
Okay. 3-lever or
okay.
6?
But is it so it's not a next gen? It's a next gen or a Defiant?
No, it's a 3-level. It's a 3-lever stamp steel clutch.
Oh,
it's old school,
like an old Ram style.
Yeah, it's just like a Ram. I might be wrong, but I think it might be a Ram, and I don't know if he modifies them or does something different to make it kind of his, but it's pretty much a Ram.
Nice.
And so when you was the second one that you went on, was it Montana?
The second
Drag and Drive.
No, we did I guess the first one in my car, I think it was one of the Carolina drag cruises, which is the small little weekend one. And then we did street meet that year too. I think that might have been it that year. No, because we did Midwest drags in mine too, but we didn't finish. We had a lot of problems with blowing holes in cylinder heads on my car.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't going to talk too much about that, but
since you brought it up.
Yeah. So I don't remember. The drag cruise might have been the first one, and that was an interesting event because actually on the wall behind me somewhere right there is the trophy with the head gasket because we blew a hole in the cylinder head and we fixed it in the parking lot of O'Reilly and Page. I think it's Page Racing Engines who actually hooked us up. They welded and decked the head for us, and we put it back together and finished. But my car, when it blows holes in heads like that, also blows the radiator up. So we had a leaking radiator. We made the 150 or 200 mile drive with holes in the radiator. Had to stop all the time, put water in it. Like I'm pretty sure it saw about 250 plus degrees at one point. So that was a fun one. And then I know Midwest, we had the same problem, blew a hole in the head, and we didn't fix it that time, which honestly we probably should have because it made for a really long day. And we had all the parts to fix it. Like we carry a spare cylinder head now after all done.
Can we blame that on Aaron? Is that his fault?
No, it's more my fault because I'll take blame for it because everyone I've actually listened to on your podcast has said, don't cheap out, like buy the right thing the first time. And I don't always do that. So I put the Bosch injectors on the methanol side and they worked until they didn't work. And we chased that for a long time.
Yeah. Dive into that because I think I read something about this too. What is the recommended injector and why for methanol?
Well, like I now run the AFIS or AFIS, whatever you call them. And then a lot of people run automizers. And I think Fuel Tech has some injectors, but there's no O-rings inside. They're like a stainless steel check ball. And the O-rings inside the Bosch injectors will swell up with the methanol. And then they'll stick closed on you. And I guess that's what happened. One would stick and we wouldn't know it. Like I think Aaron touched on it. Mine doesn't idle on methanol ever. It doesn't see the methanol until I think 4 pounds of boost.
Mm-hmm.
The only time, there was no telling until it put a hole in the head. and the AFR read fine because the other injectors were trying to make up for the one that was dead, I assume. Yeah, so it was just, and when I say a hole in the head, like, I don't know if you know what a water jet is. I ran a water jet for a really long time, and it water jetted a hole straight to water, like
Wow.
in the, and I don't know how it didn't get a piston or hurt the block, but it never did. It was only.
Yeah,
And
that
go ahead, Rich. I think we have a lag. Oh, he may have lost the audio. Yeah, that's
yeah,
interesting.
no,
And you're running
my
stock heads?
looks like I'm
Yeah, they're
having
stock
connection
LS3.
issues here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Can
you,
hear you
Rich.
now. They're stock LS3 heads, and I don't know when we'll get away from that. It's kind of nice, like the availability and the fact that we carry a spare one in the trailer now. Like, it's always with us on the drag and drives.
Only one or not or a pair?
Yeah, only one.
Oh, okay.
We've never got, knock on wood, we never got two at a time. So
Right. Or one and then it again, right? It's just the one occurrence.
well,
Knock on wood.
so that was our struggle at with Midwest Drags, is we had everything to fix the head that we destroyed. But at that point we didn't have a time slip. There you have to turn in two. We didn't have a time slip worth turning in, and so we were basically out of it, and we just didn't feel like doing the work. And honestly, looking back, I wish we finished the event and had fun.
Sure. Yeah.
Because, man, we drove all the way from Beach Bend back to Kentucky Dragway, back to Beach Bend, and then back to North Carolina all in one shot. And it would have been easier to fix a cylinder head and finish the event.
Yeah, definitely. And you drove the car. You didn't trailer it there, correct?
No, we trailered to that one.
Okay.
Actually, the first one we really drove to was Montana, and a lot of people we know who don't do this, like, gave us a hard time leading up to it. They're like, your track record doesn't exactly show that you should drive this thing all the way to Montana. and we're like, why not? They're like,
Well,
had a lot of failures.
It worked.
Yeah. So we were back and forth before going, whether we should drive it or trailer it. And the deciding factor for me was when I did the math on the fuel mileage of the car versus the truck with the trailer. And dollar wise, it was a lot cheaper to drive the car. So, I mean, we pretty much had everything to fix anything to get home. I mean, I carry a spare drive shaft. We carried a transmission, had the head, like, we'd have been okay.
Nice. So go into a little more
actually
deep.
The car actually got like 17 miles per gallon towing the little trailer, and my truck gets about 11 towing the trailer. So
it's definitely the right move.
And the adventure.
So go into a little more on the go into a little bit more on the motor. I mean, LS, obviously, rods and pistons, solid cam, hydraulic cam. What do we got there?
It's a hydraulic roller. Man, I got a cheat sheet there. Maybe I wouldn't know this stuff. It's a K1 crank. They're Texas speed rods, LS9 head gaskets. They're stock heads, stock valves. It does have they're stock rockers, but with the BTR shaft mount set up. It's 3/8 080 ball push rod. They're drop-in Morel lifters. And the camshaft is something Aaron's been working on Cowie's with. I guess they're calling it the Cowie's Drag and Drive Series camshaft.
Oh, nice.
So he's been working with them a little bit on trying to develop something towards the drag and drive stuff, and I think it's based on the hydraulic roller with the stock drop-in lifters. Because I mean, we've turned this motor 8500 with the stock valves and the lifters. Think that the springs that are going to pair with it might be what's in my car, and what's in my car nobody else in the world has or can have right now. My boss might have went on a vacation one year, and something got made, and it's worked. They've worked really well.
So it's safe to say you may have wound the springs yourself that are in your car.
Yeah, I've done that a lot through my career. Aaron and I have taken built not bought to like a level that I don't think people do. Like I've made so much stuff on this car, including valve springs. That it's kind of crazy.
Wow.
And awesome. Crazy and awesome. It's so much better when you
Yeah,
build
it's
yourself.
really cool. Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I told Aaron the other day. I said, so I have a crazy amount of separation now. All of a sudden, we figured something out, and the car still has a pan hard bar on it. So when it separates, it kicks out towards the passenger side.
Yeah.
And so I'll be making a wishbone for it here soon. I bought all the material, but I told him, I said, what's crazy is like that's the last suspension part on the car that I have not made.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's awesome. It's kind of scary sometimes when I'm thinking about how fast it's going.
Yeah. Rich, who's I'm having a brain fart here, but the guys in South Carolina has that silver Camaro. His brother-in-law has the
Chris Moore and Stephen Plemons.
Yes, he has a video on his YouTube channel of exactly what you're talking about, because he kept having issues with the car moving around, and then he built a wishbone for it. He's got some cool video under the car. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so I don't really know. The first test, we were testing before Street Meet this year. We went to a local track, and we decided to try and move the lower control arm bar one hole, because I've never done that. And I did that, and like the car separated till it topped the rear shocks out, just by one hole. And the only time I noticed the pan hard bar kind of not really being an issue, but I had the compression on the rear shocks really loose, and it settled a little bit on the shifts, and it kind of like to scoot around a little on the shift.
Yeah,
But
keeps it exciting.
Yeah, well, yeah, the car's gotten a whole lot more smooth and stable over the years. Back when it was a diaphragm clutch and 300 shot of nitrous, like it was like riding a bull, and so I'm used to it being a little crazy. But Aaron got in it that weekend, that same time at Piedmont, and he got out and he's like, man, we got to do something about that on the shift. It's all over the place. And I was like, it's not that bad.
It's amazing what you get used to. Yep.
I remember making passes next to Rich, and he had some steering issues, and I told him, I said, I'm not gonna make a pass next to you again until you figure this thing out, because it was all over the track. It was a hot mess for a little while.
When I went and got my licensing passes, we went down to Rockingham, and I think it was the first 8 mile pass I made. The guy come by the pit, and he was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, like, the car's kind of a little all over the place. And I was like, all right. And like he left, and I looked at Aaron, and Aaron was like, no, man, it looks good. I was like, okay, because it feels really smooth. He's like, that just looks like it usually does. I was like, okay, good. That was that trip was such a kick. We went, and I made the licensing passes, and that was the last time. That was the last time, the first time I think with the turbos, that I made quarter-mile passes in this car. And the second quarter-mile pass to finish out the licensing, the car went in 9,000. It blew a hole in the head, like at like the 1,000-foot mark, and went maybe past that, but it went in 9,000, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me!
Oh no!
You couldn't give me an 899.
Yeah, with a 9.
Yeah.
And water didn't get under the tire or nothing?
No, thank God that's not happened. Yeah, I haven't. It usually just puffs out into the exhaust. So with the bullhorns, I've noticed it every time I let out the gas, and I just see it. It looks like a train. I'm like, great.
I wanted
Nice.
to. That's when I lost connection. I wanted to talk about, because Aaron talked about it last time, and it kind of triggered me a bit. Like, I thought about going to methanol lots. I always thought it was pretty cool how people transition into methanol, and so as soon as you let off the gas, you're back on pump gas. But after listening to Aaron tell a story about yours, I thought, for the drag and drive community, it might not be the best situation, because at least if you fire it up in the pits and you have EGTs, which I'm going to touch on in a sec, you could tell that you had a dead cylinder. But when you transition, like you do, you really don't know until it's probably too late. Hey, like, I mean, you save methanol, but you kind of risk that any early indication that you have a problem with an injector, you lose it when you use that method. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I love the setup on the car on the fuel side of it, because with how it transitions and has no idle time on the methanol, like there's never milky oil or anything. So I don't deal with that. But I don't chase E85. I don't even chase 93 anymore. When we went to Montana, I was putting 85 in it to go up and down the highway. I didn't care. I'm like, it's a truck motor. Like, it's 10-to-1 compression or something. But yeah, I guess that would be the one downside. That's why I spent a lot of money on the fuel system.
Yeah.
Like that's actually the biggest downside, in my opinion, to the methanol, is the cost of the fuel system is a good bit.
How big a fuel pump you got to run? Yeah.
Yeah. Are you mechanical or electrical on the fuel pump side for the methanol?
Yeah. So when we were having problems with the Bosch 210s, it was actually electric, and it again was not really sufficient. But I've switched to belt drive. It's the Magna Fuel Outlaw pump.
Like 10 GPM or?
I think it's 10 or 12 gallons per minute, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
boy. You need a lot. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the drive to Montana. I remember getting a message from Aaron talking about what my sixth gear was, and if I had any issues with it. You'll like this, Bill, with it bucking or anything. And I'm like, no, it's pretty good unless you're down a cylinder, and then it'll be.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Tell us that story.
So we drove the whole 2,000 miles to Montana, and even with all the cylinders, cars, it kind of lugs in sixth gear. Maybe it's just me. I don't want to hammer it with the clutch and everything, but it was riding so bad in sixth gear at low RPM that, like, I was nonstop telling Aaron how bad it is, and he spent the entire time on the laptop. And every time I'd start lugging it, I'm like, dude, this thing sucks. So we made that whole drive, and we had steering coming loose and stuff on the drive. And actually, it was funny because it didn't come loose on me. It come loose on Aaron. So I drove like 800 miles the first day, and then Aaron hopped in it for 150 or 200 miles, and like immediately was like, "This is awful." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "The steering in this is terrible." And I'm like, oh, "Okay." Like, I'm kind of not believing him. I'm like, I just drove this thing forever. Like, it's fine. And next morning, the set screw backed out. The set screw backed out of the steering shaft. But anyway.
So he basically broke it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he broke it. Luckily, the set screw landed on the headers and was stuck between two primaries, and I was able to just pick it up and put it back in.
Nice.
Yeah, anyway, so we got to Montana, and we went through tech, which was extensive. I've never been through tech that asked for as much as they did. But we got to the hotel, and we were like, well, we just drove 2,000 miles. Let's look at this thing. We were going over it, and I don't remember how he sounded. I don't remember why, but I know we checked the injectors, and the one injector wasn't pulsing. I think it was number 4. And I guess it turns out we drove there the whole time on 7 cylinders. One of the wires one of the injector wires wore a hole or broke. Something happened to it.
Hmm.
How was the drive home compared to the drive there?
The drive home was actually a lot better. Actually, it was very noticeable. It was noticeable through the whole event that it was better
Yeah.
because
Yeah. When you run on an even number, it's pretty good on an even number. That odd 7 is no good.
Even with 180-degree headers, it still doesn't help.
We've been on 7 cylinders a few times that we didn't notice. We had that not same issue, but we ran a couple passes during street meet one year on 7 cylinders, and it was the day that they had 2 tracks in one day. And I made a pass, and I come back and I told Aaron, I'm like, this thing's breaking up, like at the top. And he was like, okay, but I didn't have a slip. I was struggling bad, and it kind of got to the point where we were hot lapping, and I kept telling him. But we ended up running like a 560 or something, and we left and went and made it to the second track. And same problem. I made the first pass, went like a 572, and I come back. I'm like, man, this thing's breaking up. And he's like, we just didn't have time. We literally rolled in as they were closing the lanes. And when we got to Mooresville the next day, we pulled all the spark plugs out, and the 1 cylinder didn't have a strap on the plug. So
you're running those top fuel kind of plugs in there. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, actually, we did run some super cold special plugs that we might have got somewhere that looked just like the one that didn't have a strap.
Yeah, when they don't have a strap, they tend to run pretty cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like we talked a little bit about EGTs, but if there's anything EGTs are good for, it's telling you when you're down a cylinder. Like,
100%.
I've actually had it where the EGT wasn't picking it up, but the cylinder was intermittent, and I was just waiting, watching the EGT, and sure enough, eventually it finally told me which cylinder was bad. But they are definitely good for that. I don't really use them for tuning a whole lot. I have added timing to help cool them down in the track, though. Like just 1 cylinder, I had pulled 4 degrees of timing, and it was the hottest cylinder of all of them. So I better put that timing back in that hole, and sure enough, the EGT comes back down. But it's definitely a good troubleshooting on a long drive.
Yeah, and it is funny you say that, Rich, because I know when I first got into the turbo setup on mine, I was so scared about timing because I just didn't know. And I was running, 1,600, nearly 1,700 EGT at the end of a pass. And finally, when I started working with Matt, we put a bunch of timing in it. They're like, it dropped a couple hundred degrees. Like, it's amazing. And it's so much happier. So it's what it wants, but you don't want to go hog wild until you figure that out. But
yeah, so you won stick at so you drove all the way to Montana and all the way back, and I know the drive pretty well because I've done it a couple of times, like every time I do a dragon drive. But and you won stick.
Yeah. So the drive out there was a lot cooler than the drive back because there was all the excitement and everything. The drive back, all we had to look at was a first place trophy.
Oh man, that's tough.
Actually, it's a plaque, and Aaron zip tied it to the dash. He's like, I just need something to motivate me to get home. But yeah, that was actually a really fun event because I've never been up in that part of the country, so that was the reason I wanted to go up there. And just driving through, once you hit about South Dakota, I guess, just driving through the country up that way is you're just glued to the windshield and looking out, and you're trying not to crash because
the little check screw fell out of your steering, right? You're trying not to crash.
Yeah, well, evidently I don't feel that.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So once we passed tech, like I said, their tech was, I guess, like it should be, but They asked for a lot of SFI numbers that I was like, dude, I have no idea.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, like off the bell housing and clutch and stuff, and I'm like, I actually, he didn't think it was funny, but I was like, it's there if you want to get down there. But it's actually, hopefully they're not listening, but it's actually not, because when I cut a hole in the bell housing, the SFI sticker was right there.
Well, you're the first stick guy to ever do that.
Yeah. But yeah, we didn't run any crazy numbers out there in Montana, but we probably fortunately didn't need to push the car, because like if you showed up rich, we'd have pushed it until we broke it probably, and then we'd have been 2,000 miles from home broken.
I hear you.
But I think we averaged like a 6.0.
Okay.
And the last day my goal was to run a 5, and Aaron loaded the tune that should have went like a 560. And this car is a pain all the time. It fights you all the time. And so on the very last pass out there, like things had gone super well, and I'm hauling ass, and all of a sudden water hits the windshield, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I let off, get on the brakes. This was before the 8th, and I pull off to the side and got out, checked, and there was nothing under the car or anything. So I drove it back, and it was running and driving fine. I got the slip, and I did get my 5. It was like a 596 or something, but I wasn't super happy about it. Turns out our radiator cap didn't really fit this radiator, or it was just wore out. Like it didn't. When I got home and I measured it with calipers, and the depth of on the radiator was more than what the rubber piece that seals it is on the cap. So somehow I guess it got enough pressure to blow water up on my windshield. But the way my cowl is, the big 6-inch cowl, like anything that happens under there, I can see it through inside the car.
Wow.
So it just blasted water up on the windshield. Yeah.
Oh, no. So
yeah.
So Aaron, talk about Southeast Street Knee, because you were significantly faster than a 596 at that.
Yeah. So when we went in testing, we went. I showed up and I told Aaron. I said I'd really like today, if we run a 5, like a 45, I'd be really happy. So we went out and we loaded a tune that should run a 560, and it went a 562. I was like, sweet, this thing's actually doing something for once. And then I was like, all right, turn it up. So we went back up, and I went a 547, 130 or something like that. And I come back, and I was like, perfect. Like it runs, drives, loaded up, let's go. And I was like, actually, Aaron, hop in this thing and make a pass. So he turned it down and got in it, and he turned it down too much because he went like a 602 or something like that. But then we went. So I made the mistake, and he told you on the show too. I made the mistake. I told CJ that my plan was to run 5. I wanted a 530 average. That I think that would win it based on years past. And so CJ said, okay. And then CJ went out testing, and I think he went a 505 or something like that testing. And I was like, man,
that's going to be a problem.
But CJ, yeah, CJ being the awesome guy he is, he sent us a lot of information. And so it showed us where we were lacking. Like even at Street Meet, he smoked us to the 330. And so we out 60 footed him the whole time. Actually online, I told him next year we're racing for the 60 foot. But so his information showed us where we were missing, and we showed up, and I didn't change my plan. I told Aaron, I said I still want a 538 or better. Like a 38 will make me happy. That's what I'm gonna say right now, because I've actually watched Rich a good bit, And he's not always the fastest car that shows up, right? But he's come home with his fair share of trophies. And so we went out the first day, and I think our second pass was a 37. I was like, all right, let's go. Like, we could have turned it up, but didn't want to. I was like, that's a 38 average right there. And then the second day, we went out and at Greer, which was my first time there, and it's a really nice track. But we pitted next to CJ, and we went up at the same time, and we made sure we got side by side because that's what I wanted to do.
Put on a show.
We put on a show. I treed the life out of him. And then I was on a really good pass, and Aaron kicks himself so hard for this pass, but I hit fourth, and when I hit fourth, it just nosed over. Like, it wasn't making any power. I thought I broke something or blew up. Like, the first thing I did was look in the mirror, and I didn't see any smoke or anything, so I stayed in it. I finished the pass. I think I went to 541, and in the shutdown and on the return road, I'm like, well, it's running and driving fine. It seems okay. So I pull up the hill to our pit. We're pitted right at the top of the return road, and I kind of pulled off, and I guess I hit a bump, and the car just died. It shut off. And then I went to fire it back up, and like, it wouldn't fire, and it kind of sounded like it was missing. And for some reason, there was a puff or two out the one bullhorn. I'm like, it's blowing up. Like, we got a head gasket. So Aaron makes his pass and comes back, and I'm like, dude, it's blowing up. And he's like, what? I'm like, yep. So pulled all the spark plugs, and they all look brand new because they were. I literally put them in the day before. And he checked the tune, and hit a boost cut, and that's why it laid over. But we actually then we put all the plugs back in. He's like, try and fire it up. I turn it over, and it fires right up. I'm like, all right. I'm like, well, let's go make a pass. And so I'm rolling down the hill, and he's in the passenger seat to go to the lanes, and it just shuts off. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know what we did, but it fired back up. I circled the pits and went back to our pit. It was still running. He looked at some things, and he's like, well, let's try and make a pass again. And we go up, and I'm riding down this hill, and I looked at him, and I said, did it cut off when we hit this bump right up here? And before he could finish saying, I don't know, I hit the bump, and it cut off. I'm like, there's something, like, both of us knew at that point it was something electrical. And so we're then all the way up the track away from our pit, and we probably look like some psychopaths because the car's running, and like, we're slamming doors and like bouncing it, and like every now and then it would shut off. Kind of seemed like it was in the rear. Aaron, I fire back up, and Aaron takes the hatch, and he slams the hatch closed, and the car shuts off. And so him and CJ determined it was something with the onboard air system back there. And they messed with it, and they're like, all right, try it now. And it fired up, and he slammed the hatch again, and it cut off again. So they're like, well, it's not that. And so we took the hood off, and it turned out to be, I put in a coolant pressure sensor inside of the radiator. And that was a afterthought on wiring. So it got out of the zip tie, and it was laying on the downpipe.
That'll do it.
Yeah. So we tied that up out of the way, and it was fine. Went and made a pass, and actually that pass after that was actually the closest I've ever got to wrecking the car. I got way out of the groove towards the wall and stayed in it, and it got pretty sideways on it. We loaded up and left there with that 41. And after the first day, CJ had given me 50 pounds of lead because we were both fighting wheelies. And so I didn't have the bolts to bolt it on to the clamps. So I think the checkpoint after the second day was CPR Performance. I bought bolts. So we showed up to Carolina, and I bolted that lead on, and we went up and we made a pretty good rip. It's actually personal best. We went on 117 to the 60 foot, and then we went a 519 at 137.
Whoo. Yeah.
How much
That's
boost?
pretty good.
I think that was around 30. I think that pass was about right at 30. And so we left there with the 519. We turned that in, and we went back to Shady Side, and both CJ and I had the same goal of running a 4. I was like, we got plenty left in it. So we went, turned it up, and again, CJ and I lined up for the first pass, and I spun, but I pedaled it, and the car recovered, which is something that's not ever done until that recent suspension change. And I think it went a 538 and 139.
Mm.
Or no, that pass was a 561 at 139. And so then I waited a little, and I went back up during the all run, and again, trying for a 4. I went and I had about the 60 foot mark, or maybe right before it, had some really bad tire shake. And I pedaled it and got back in it, and we went a 538 at 140 point.
Man.
That was the fastest mile per hour I've ever been. And I
That's
don't
getting
get super excited. Yeah, I don't get super excited when I get out of the car. Aaron comes up to me looking for emotion, and it's just like, yeah, that's pretty good. He come up to me after that one, and the adrenaline had me a little bit. I was like, that was badass. I was like, this thing is finally doing something.
Yeah.
So,
Rob, what's your starting line technique? I mean, what's the launch RPM, boost, all that kind of stuff off the line?
Yeah, so I roll through the water box, and I have a brake pressure gauge, so it's up on the dash. Aaron has it set where I pick the pressure, and it turns green when it hits that pressure. So I set the line lock, and before I used to just rev it a little bit and dump the clutch. Here recently, I started looking like an idiot doing that. It would fall, not do a burnout. So I started hitting the 2-step, and then I'll dump the clutch. Most of the time, I'll burn out through the tree. On the drag and drive, usually I'll burn out through the tree, and I'll cut it to the right into the fresh sticky. Then I'll back up. And so I light the first bulb, and then I set the brake pressure, which is around 200 psi. And then depending if I want to cut a light or not. When I was lined up against TJ and I was going to cut a light, I put it fully on the 2-step before I rolled in. If I don't care, I'll give it a little bit and then I roll in. I'll put it on the 2-step. It hits full boost pretty fast, like maybe second.
Okay.
And then your RPM or your 2-step button or on the clutch switch?
The 2-step is on the clutch. It's the 2-inch shock travel sensor.
Okay.
All right.
So he's got it. So it doesn't, I guess we figured out the engagement. So it doesn't, when I ease off the clutch to roll into the second light, it doesn't cut off the 2-step.
Yeah.
And
yeah, mine's...
What kind of launch? Yeah. And what 2-step RPM are you at?
We're usually around 5,000.
Okay. And how much boost are you building on the 2-step?
At Street Need, it was 12 pounds. Okay. It was between 10 to 12.
All right.
When I change the gear in this car next year, it might be more.
Yeah, what gear are you running in the back?
It's a 430 in the back.
Oh, wow. Well, he spins at 80. What do you spend at 8,500, you said?
We've been shifting at 8. We have shifted as high as 84, I believe.
Okay. Nice.
That's why you got to shift
which
into
way
fourth
you
gear
going?
in the 8th, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll run out of gear in the quarter. So the plan, I think, is probably a 373.
Yeah, that's
funny enough.
Yeah.
As I go worse and worse starting line ratio, my 60 foots keep getting better. So don't be afraid of that. Like I got a
good.
325 rear gear and a 271 first, and it's still working
Well, that's
plenty good.
something. That was something that CJ and I were talking about. Is my 60-foot was way better than his, but his 330 was that much better than mine. And the only thing we could figure in the end was the difference in rear gear.
Do
So
you know how long your
you
clutch
figure
slips
his
for? Sorry. Good job.
Yeah, I guess that could be a factor. I don't know the length of time that mine slips for.
So do you figure with less gear, it's gonna work the clutch harder, and then it's probably putting more load on the motor, which is working the turbos or loading the turbos harder? Is that kind of what you're thinking? The combination of
Yeah,
those
I
two?
mean, I don't actually know what we're thinking. That was the only thing we could come up with.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. So
I was trying to be all smart. Here, and it's not working.
With some people, it might work out, but you're not going to get the technical stuff out of me. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the spring when we put the gear in it.
yeah, 430 is pretty aggressive. You got to shift pretty quick, hey? Like, are you shifting within a
Yeah, we're
second of
shifting at the
launching?
60-foot.
Yeah, I was
We're
gonna say.
shifting right at the 60-foot cone.
Ooh, yeah, that'll get it.
Yeah, that's got to feel that 60 foot must feel pretty good though. Like that when you do
Yeah.
that 60 foot in a stick car, that thing's got to be that's pulling pretty hard. I
We,
know when Aaron talked about driving your car, he was like, "Oh, this is so good."
Yeah, we went on street meet. We went a 124 the first day, then a 120 the next day, and a 117 on the third.
Wow, that's impressive. That's getting it.
When we left after testing, I told Aaron, I said, we went to 47 that day, but we were still running like 7 or 8 pounds of boost on the 2-step. And I told him, I said, man, this thing will go a team at 60 foot for sure. Like it went like a 123, I think, that day. I was like, this thing's got a team for sure. Nice to actually do that on street.
Nice. And how quickly are you bringing in boost in first gear?
So that was what we were talking about working on heading into street meet, is that we need to get more aggressive early, and the wheel stands really wouldn't let us do that in first gear. Like we could not keep the nose of this car down, so it doesn't actually hit full boost in first gear. I think it, if we're running 30, it might get to 25 by the shift, and then it'll be full boost in second.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Nice.
realizing
Yeah.
too, that I'm bringing it in on the launch is okay. And then same thing though, if I bring it in too quick, lots of times at that 1 second mark, it'll knock the tires off. But now that I'm like launching at a higher boost, like for me, that's 7.5 pounds, but my motor's a little bigger. So I'm going to try a little more at probably not at Sick Week, but probably it's streetcar bragging rights, because we might not be as cage limited as at streetcar bragging rights as we are at Sick Week.
Yeah.
So
the wheelies though, I think, it's not on the initial hit. It starts coming up late towards the 60-foot cone, and that separation that we found, it all happens really fast, and I just don't have. We weren't able to slow it down. Like I was full tight on rebound in the rear. I was full tight on rebound in the front. And as soon as the rear shocks pop out, the front just starts coming up on the car. We just couldn't.
Whose shock are you running?
They're Vikings. They're the bottom line Vikings, the Warriors, I guess.
Is that on the plan for the winter upgrades? Is maybe revalve or a different shock?
They can't revalve Warriors, but I have talked to somebody about getting some shocks. The fronts are actually AFCOs that I bought last year to have more shock adjustment in the front, and I'm already full tight on them too, so they'll be going off to get revalved.
Nice.
that should help. I could tell. Do you have shock travel sensors on yours?
No, not yet. Just put it on the list.
Yeah. Yep.
Something I did already change is while I was taking weight out of the car last year, another thing that I changed a lot in the front was to try and get more front end travel, because we realized the front of the car was only traveling an inch. We were like, well, that's not enough. Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah.
So I changed it, and now it was traveling, I think, close to 5 inches.
What change did you make for that?
Yeah, I cut some A arms apart and changed some things, and
Remachined.
I also put and I machined a spacer that went in above the upper control arm mount, and that seemed to be the biggest gain, was the spacer. So now the front end travels like a no prep car, but now we have the issue of it traveling too.
And it drives
So
horrible. It drives horrible.
The first thing I did, do what?
And it drives horrible, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. So the first thing I did when I got home from street meet was take that spacer out and see what the difference was in travel. And I think I lost an inch and a half or 2 inches. So now it travels like 3.5 or 4 inches. I think 3.5 inches. So to me, that's more acceptable. We're going to go there and try it.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And so what was your average at the end of the week?
5:30.40. So
I met your goal. So yeah,
I beat my goal, but it just wasn't enough because someone else knew what my goal was.
That little bugger. Yeah. I the first time I met CJ was at Sick Week 2022. And I mean, you don't know who's going to show up for Sick Week. And I see this little Fox body LS turbo stick car, and I'm like, oh boy, he could be a problem. And yeah, he's a problem now. It took a little while, but he's definitely a problem.
He's a problem. But as you probably know, he's the nicest guy in the world. Like, so Aaron, I was gonna say Aaron, and I'm not happy that we finished second again, but like Aaron's a little more bitter about finishing second than I was. But I was like, I told him, I said, man, we wouldn't have run as fast as we did if CJ didn't share the information with us that he did. Like, going into that actually after testing, I was like, man, at 30 might be tough. And then CJ showed us what his can do, and I'm like, okay, well, if he can go 5.0, we probably could go 5.0. He just showed us where we were lacking as far in the data logs.
It is, I think, something unique to this stick shift world. Like, we're all pretty willing to share, like, just about, I don't know how many people have the exact same shifting strategy. Grubworm, all those guys tell you exactly what the RPM drop is. Like, it's pretty unique. It's pretty unique that way.
Yeah, I mean, he gave you 50 pounds of weight to put on the front of the car, and yeah, I mean, exactly, Rich. I mean, everybody kind of shares. You want to see everybody do better, but not quite as good as you are, you know. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I gave
do
Will
better, but just not that great.
Yeah, I gave Will parts out of my 9-inch, and then he kicked my ass at Rocky Mountain Race Week. So we do it.
So Rob, one question we haven't asked is, what tire are you running?
It's now a Pro Bracket radial.
Pabst Blue Ribbon of tires.
Yep, PBR.
Nice.
It's actually a used Pro Bracket radial that we got off a buddy. It's not even brand new.
Did you find that helped? Yeah, did you find that helped better than? And what did you run before?
We were on a stiff wall Hoosier, the CO7.
Oh, a slick, not a radial.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was a change we made over the winter, was going from a slick to a radial.
Okay.
I don't know what the problem was. We struggled with the slick, to be honest with you. Like, it was a lot of spinning on the starting line. And so one of the guys, we have a group of friends from Georgia that are awesome people that come up and do a couple drag and drives here in the Carolinas with us. And the one guy, Bam, sold me actually, I think he gave me the bracket radials off his car. And so the first time with those was at Carolina Drag Cruise this year. And we all rented an Airbnb to hang out. And do Carolina drag cruise, and we were talking beforehand, and they're like, "You better get ready. Them radials, man, they hook, and you'll be looking at the sky before you know it." And I was like, this car has never one time pulled the wheels more than about 6 inches, and it's just not going to do it. And they're giving me, they were like, "Do you hear that? You hear what he just said?" I'm like, "It's not going to." And then it got to a point I was like, "Look, I'm just trying to reverse psychology this thing into hooking up, actually." And so here this year at Carolina Drag Cruise, we went out first pass, went like a 580, it wouldn't build anything on the two step. It was running awful. And Aaron messed with the two step for a very long time. And I went back up and I put it on the two step, and I was sitting there for a good little bit. And I dumped that clutch, and they told me everything not to do if the front end comes up. Well, I guess maybe I wasn't paying attention. I think Aaron told you I black out, but I didn't notice how high it was until it was too late. Like, I put the car on the bumper, and then and then proceeded to do everything they told me not to do.
Let off throttle.
And I just dumped the throttle, and I'd come down hard and tore some stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I don't think I tore anything up that would have kicked us out of the race, but then I was driving the car back to the house that night, and I lost the clutch. Like, it slowly faded, like as if it was a hydraulic issue. And then I'm texting Aaron, who was in a different car. I'm like, "I don't have a clutch." So we pulled off in a gas station parking lot, and we messed with that for a long time. And it was 2 a.m. I think at that point, and I'm under there looking in the window, and he's hitting the clutch pedal, and you can see it releasing the clutch. And we're like, "All right, it's fine." So fire it up, push the clutch in, and it's not releasing. Like, it's slamming right in the first gear and dying. And we checked it a million times. We bled the hydraulics until I was like, "Dude, it can't be hydraulic." And so we decided, we were like, well, let's just get it back to the house, because we were staying 30 minutes away or something. So I drove it those 30 minutes without a clutch pedal. I just jammed it in the gears.
Sounds familiar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Might have done that before.
Got back. I was dead set on taking the transmission out and figuring out like what it was. And then it started pouring rain. Like, all right. So I didn't finish that event. And I got home, and one of the bolts that holds the, I guess the lever stand on, had backed out. And so that one arm was just loose. It wasn't functioning.
Oh.
And I guess with my awesome luck, every time I got under that car to look at that clutch, that arm was up top.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I got lucky though, because when we backed the car up, my one buddy was like, "Hey, what are these?" And it was a stack of shims. And so he gave them all to me. I was like, I have no idea. But they were all the shims that go underneath the stand.
Nice.
So when I was able to just put them all back in and run it.
Nice. That's awesome.
Um,
Oh, man.
did the fingers move much for you on Street and Eat? Like, do you think you need to adjust the clutch after that event?
Probably not. I don't know. That all is going to come out. And I'll measure the disc and see where we're at, because we drove that to Montana and everything. But I have started putting a bunch of bass in it for the drives, because it just drives better.
Yeah.
I didn't used to do that. It was just easier to leave it alone and not have to mess with it. But last year's Street and Eat, when I was driving down the road, I was noticing how easy I was blowing through the clutch in fifth and sixth.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, like driving 3,000 miles, it's just not worth it not to tighten it up. And I mean, you pull out to pass somebody, you do all that kind of stuff. The last thing you want to do is be smoking your clutch and having to put a new disc in by the time you get there. But it's just easy with the right tool to tighten it up and loosen it off. Yeah. I know CJ didn't have to do any of that, but
No, he didn't do any of that. And he like looked at me like I was crazy for doing it. But
Yeah.
it does drive a lot better when you put the bass in.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. It drives like a regular diaphragm clutch.
Yeah, like a
almost.
diaphragm clutch. Right.
Yeah. Do you have a bump button or a suicide button under the car so you can adjust it?
I do.
Suicide button.
No,
I
I
like that.
check about 5 times to make sure it's out of gear.
Yep, same. I have 2 giant placards under there that both say neutral, and I always have to double check just to make sure.
There's times I get under there and I know I just did it, but I'm laying there looking at it and I'm like, man, and then I got to get back out
One more
and
time.
check. And I was like, I knew I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Death is not a great option for a drag and drive. I don't particularly go for that one. So
It's a bad way to go under a car. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
because it wouldn't be fast. Like, it would not be a fast way.
No, probably not.
No.
Well, maybe
Oh,
with my car because
man.
it's pretty heavy. So
Oh, that's yeah. Just snap.
yeah.
Oh, well, we've been on here for like almost an hour and a half, I think. So
Yeah,
what are you not telling us, Rob, that you should be telling us? What secrets you got?
I don't really know that I have any secrets.
What's your
I
next
don't
event?
know. I think my next event is bragging rights, I think. And then
Okay, well,
directly
don't do
after
any
bragging rights,
testing. Don't do any testing before then, okay?
that is not next year's plan. The plan next year is to do a lot of testing. Because Aaron come on here and told you guys that we were just going to win the whole thing next year at Street Meet. So we got to find a lot.
Yep.
And CJ texted me that and he said, "Hey, how about your boy?" And I was like, "Yeah, that surprised me too."
Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy.
It's actually funny because I'm usually the one that's like, I want to run a 5:30, and he's like, "Man, I don't know. Maybe it might do a 40." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I want to do a 30." And he comes on here and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna run 460s." And I'm like, "You realize that the top outlaw guys are running 460s, right? Like, you better find something big."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, we need to build a big motor." And I was like, "That's not gonna happen."
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm looking forward to streetcar bragging rights, especially the new format. The blind qualifying is also something that makes everything really cool. The fact that you have no idea what everybody else is running unless you're running beside them. And just the way Nate runs the program with, starting number 1 and counting down. And so you don't know if you're in the top 8,
Yeah.
the middle 16, or the last 16. And there's a lot of fast
think,
guys coming.
Yeah, with the Outlaw being top 8, I feel a lot better about not like lucking into that. Like, I would be a first round duck in that deal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stick
I
shift
would
cars that are
definitely
really
be.
fast.
Yep. But the good news is stick shift racing, who knows, right? I mean, we had Josh Manning on here before, and yeah, he qualified number 1 and went up there and his car wouldn't start. So number 16 moved on. I think number 16, he went 2 or 3 rounds before he got eliminated. So that's stick shift racing though. So yeah, should be fun.
Yeah, and then straight after bragging rights is the small Carolina drag cruise, which I'm sure we'll do again this year.
Nice. Yeah, you're very lucky. You have so many tracks relatively close to where you live. Where like Rich and I, it's a little bit more of a haul to get a variety or even anything right now for tracks.
Well,
Yeah, there's a bunch right here.
The prep is quite a bit different as you realize when you got to Montana that it's not quite the same as down in Carolinas.
Yeah, you warned us or told us about that. The first day they had enough prep to do something. And honestly, like I told Aaron recently, I said, I'd like to know what the car would do with all this separation now on a lesser track. Man, that one track, they were still working on finishing it. And we showed up there that day. And like, it was bare. Like, they were trying to drag it and spray it, but they had just finished paving it. And I'm like, this is not going to be good. And I went up there to look at it again, and they're like cutting the concrete up at the starting line. And I'm like, well, what's going on? They're like, oh, we're trying to install the timing system. And so they ended up canceling that one, and it just became a drive day, which was probably best for racer safety.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's
I
not
think
no
you'll be.
prep drag and drive.
Yeah. But it's a even playing field though. So, and it is kind of fun. Like when we went and did, Death Week, wasn't that? Yeah. No, 666 where we went to, Alien City Dragway. It was just an airport. Like that was a pretty fun challenge to see, if a guy can run fives on there where, you're basically on an airport and the track is not great, but still a fun challenge if you can make enough hits to kind of try to dial it in anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good
That was grooved pavement there too, wasn't it, Rich?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it more challenging for sure.
Yep.
Well, Rob, you've been on here a long time and you're 2 hours ahead of us. So
yeah, it's actually way past my bedtime.
All right. Well, you already have the bedhead, so we're good there. But let's maybe jump into our TKO questions. Do you want to tee it off, Rich? You want me to do it tonight?
Well, I think he already answered question one, but give us some more details. What was the Camaro like when you first got it?
So when we first bought the car, it was an LT1 6-speed car, and the only thing done to it, I believe, was like a K&N intake.
Woo!
Yeah, and
3/4 race cam.
I think the car actually ran really well with just the cold air intake. I think best was like a 14.1 or something with it stock, just the cold air intake. So it ran pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was the first car I've ever made a pass in.
He's just knocking the questions out before you can even ask him, Rich. No, he's got first and last out of there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll wait. I won't tell the story about the trip. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the first modification that we did was a catback exhaust. Or no, we actually got mid-tube headers and then the exhaust. And I got them, and which now I understand, but like a friend of my dad's was going to weld it on there, and to me, it was taking a really long time to get it to like go and do it. But now as an adult, I realize why it probably took so long is because people got a lot to do. But I was getting impatient, and I drilled some holes in the muffler to make it sound cooler.
Nice.
So it sounded, in my opinion, sounded pretty good with the holes in the muffler, but that sped up the process of getting the new exhaust put on. And then eventually it got 100 shot of nitrous. And then it's actually not stopped rolling down. The snowball has not stopped rolling downhill since.
Yeah, because the latest modification.
It's funny how it goes. Yeah.
Like I saw that there seems to be nothing inside the car from some pictures I saw.
Yeah, I'm putting it back stock, I said.
That's smart. That's smart. You're going to run in the fours.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't keep secrets, but it's going 25.5. I'm pretty big on the safety side of it. I like to come home. So we're going pretty fast, and I hated the cage that was in it.
Yeah.
So between hating the cage that was in it, the certification expiring this year, and how fast we're going, it's time to up the cage.
Yeah. So educate me a second here, because I don't actually know. 25.5 means what?
It'll start to 750.
And then what are the other ones? Like there's 25,
25.3 and 25.2.
And what are those?
Man, I don't know. I think the one might be either 7.0 or 650, and the other 6.0.
Okay. Okay. Does the 25 signify anything? Or is that just the year they put the rule
It's
in?
just a SFI number, so like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't know why it's 25.
Okay. All right. Well, that helps.
Yeah. So
All right.
I've been upside down with a TIG welder all day today.
It's time to cut your hair so you don't burn it.
Yeah, or so the helmet stays on my head.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'd be nice not to be blind.
Yeah.
All right. Let me jam it into the second gear. What, in your opinion, has been the biggest technology change to move our sport forward?
I've tried to think about this one, but like from my experience, and I know this isn't something new, but this adjustable clutch is it's a game changer. Like it just makes the car work so much better. And I know they've been around for a while, but to me, it's the clutch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you're going to be serious about drag racing, the adjustable clutch is absolutely necessary.
I agree. Even though I make a slipper device of sorts for diaphragm clutch, I feel like at a certain power level, um, the tuning window becomes so small with a slipper device like that that an adjustable clutch is a game changer. I mean, that's what I've experienced. Once I got to a certain power level, it just wasn't quite the same. But yeah, I agree with you.
Well, really, anything that slips the clutch, because before the adjustable clutch, like I just sidestepped it, and the car actually worked really well. Then the 60-foots weren't crazy, but they were high 130s, low 140s, like pretty consistently. But it was so violent. The fact that we didn't destroy a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
is awesome.
yeah, for sure. Rich, I know you blanked out for a second, but it's time for a third if you want to go for it.
Yeah, it's still
Can you
wigging
hear
out
us?
on me a
Yeah.
little, but okay, quickly bang it into third before something falls off. If you could spend one day with someone, who would it be, and what would you do?
I would definitely spend a day with my grandfather, and then I'd probably just go have a beer with him. I never got to. I'm named after him. He was the guy I was named after, and he's not big in the car. Wasn't big in the cars or anything, but I didn't get to. I didn't get to go out drinking with him, and he enjoyed having some beer like I do.
Nice.
We
That's
used to
great.
go. We used to go get our hair. Surprisingly, get our hair cut, and then go to the bar next door, and I'd have a cherry coke while he had a beer. So if I could get the haircut and both of us have a beer, that would.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, we're gonna pop it into fourth gear. Rob, what influences you to build your car or cars?
What originally influenced me was my dad.
Okay.
I guess what influences me now is just going faster and trying to win one of these dragon drives.
You've won a few
Nice.
now.
I like that. Yes.
Well, yeah, I've won a couple.
You're becoming a problem, Rob.
I'm trying to.
Okay,
All right,
first
Rich, take it.
overdrive. What, in your opinion, is a secret to stick shift racing?
Secret in stick shift racing, I think we kind of talked about it, and I think some other people have said this. Anybody in stick shift racing will give you almost any piece of advice that you ask for. Any of the top guys, if you reach out, they will tell you just about anything you ask. I've not come across anybody that keeps big secrets or anything, and everybody's so helpful. I guess if you're wanting to know, just reach out. It's easier than just guessing and trying to do it yourself when somebody's already done it.
Totally.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. They seem to be everyone in stick racing that I've come across seems to be very generous, and in fact, that's even how I met Rich. He was just so generous. So, yeah, it's either good or bad, I guess, right? He's been really helpful with a bunch of bad decisions, I can tell you that.
I'm here to help.
All right. Second. Yeah. Glad to help. Thanks. I'm here to help. sixth gear, second overdrive. And now you can tell the story because you kind of hit this question before, but tell us your first memory of making a pass in a stick car.
Yeah. So I think I was 16 still. So in New Jersey, you don't get your license till you're 17. So I had my learner's permit, not my license, and we went to the drag strip, and I believe my dad made 2 passes, and then he was like, "Why don't you go down?" So I did, and I think I went like a 14.8. It was pretty respectable for a first pass in the car, and then that just started this addiction. The plan with the car went from like a ground effects kit and cool wheels to how can we make this thing go faster?
And was that one an automatic or what?
No, that was this car with the 6-speed.
Yeah. No automatics for you.
I've never in my life raced an automatic. I don't know what that's like.
Rich, what he's saying is he doesn't know how to drive one.
Yeah, I don't think I want to know what that's like, to be honest with you.
No, the one year my car broke and I took my G8 and all I was doing was looking for other people to help and ended up helping Harry Haig in the Chevelle. That was a 4-speed car. That was the best part of the trip, was helping somebody with a stick in their car, because the automatic was like, oh, maybe I could take a run at the converter. Like, yeah, it was just, wasn't for me.
Yeah, it's all good. So, Rob, do you have any social media stuff, sponsors, anybody you want to plug, anything like that?
I really just have a Facebook page, but I mean, as far as sponsors go, I guess Callie's has helped us out with the camshaft that's in it now, because actually before they did, we tore up some camshafts, so it was nice to finish the year without tearing up a lifter and camshaft.
Yeah. You kind of sponsor yourself, right?
I am, just me and Aaron. I mean, Aaron does all my tuning. If I didn't have him, it'd cost me a whole lot more.
So we'll either blame him or thank him for being a sponsor, right?
Yeah, actually, he's actually cost more. Like
you got a three-headed LS now, because you got to bring a spare.
Yeah, but he saves me. He saves me on the tuning side.
That's nice. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait till he listens to this and harasses you at work. It's good. Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah, or he's gonna blow up our messages, Rich.
Yeah, it's the opposite. I harass him so bad.
Well, that's good.
I actually, about anybody I work with, they get a hard time.
Nice.
I don't care if they're above me or not. It doesn't matter.
Perfect.
Nice. All right. Well, should we wind this thing down?
Yeah, I think we got to get him to bed. Gotta
All right.
Spend a lot of time on that hair in the morning.
That's true. That's true. All right. So obviously, if you're listening to us on a podcast, you found us on there. And obviously, we're on YouTube as well, which is a good place to listen. And we would love to see you at PRI. I will be there in the BangShift Billy booth, which is 3210. And it would be super cool if you roll up in a Clutch Burners t-shirt like I'm sporting tonight. And you can get those at stickracing.com. And over there, you can also grab Stick Shift Nation merch, hats, stickers, whatever. So head over to stickracing.com and get some merch, and we'll call this one done. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah,
thanks.
Probably the last piece is just congratulations again, because I think you're if it wasn't for Dan CJ, you definitely would have been first. But still, 530s is impressive. That was a big gain over your previous. So congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Most definitely.
I'm very happy with the car right now.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Rich.